Aloha and welcome to Mystic Wisdom Dialogues with Wayne Powell here on the beautiful island of Kauai in the middle of the largest ocean in the world. Welcome everyone who gets to hear this recording. And all of those that are coming live, you're welcome to type questions into the chat. That's always a good thing for me to answer questions. I love answering questions. It really helps guide us into what's really needed for each of our hearts and minds to hear. So, let's see here. Yeah, we have Sophia in the house and CL. And I'm sure there'll be others on YouTube that I can't see. So today, my lesson today in A Course in Miracles, which is an amazing curriculum for peace. And that's what I want to talk about today, because it seems that we all know basically what lives inside of us. If we don't know it, we intellectually have an idea that, we were born as love in a body and given an amazing gift called life to experience that here. Yet, to me, it's like rewiring or retraining the mind is it's nearly impossible. And that's why A Course in Miracles was created, with 365 lessons, one for each day. And because retraining the mind is really well, let's say easy, just for the heck of try to make it more peaceful for us. Yeah, the psychology of vision, how to see the world as, something quite temporary, how to see the mind as something that lives from the past, and everything that we see in the world. No, these are habits. These are trainings that from childhood. We just tend to adopt and just fly with through life. Subconscious programs are running, of judgment, shame, blame, guilt, resentment, and we just flow with them because they're the natural flow of humanity. Yet they don't tend to offer us the gift we were given as an innocent human being here having an experience of separation. Separation from what? Separation from our higher self, separation from the angel that we were born to be, separation from God, separation from the unity, the one spirit that we all share. So the journey to reprogramming the mind is extensive. And that's why I think we just keep coming back to Earth, to, upgrade. It's almost like every incarnation, from my projection, I'll own it, every incarnation is like a new season in a TV show. And you get to visit, a lot of the souls and characters that you've been sharing with all along to grow your own maturity in your soul. So how do we build this bridge? First of all, I want to clarify a couple of terms that I see in the Course that really trigger people. Like the word he and the word him and the word Father. In the Course in Miracles, they're all encompassing. It's not at all leaving out the feminine. It's just simplification of terms. The Father is all-inclusive as source, and of course we relate to Mother as the earth, the creation. And so he and him, the sonship, as they call it in the Course, it's all-inclusive. It's and if you can get past those triggers of, the feminine tend to feel when they hear those words, you'll find an all-inclusiveness. You'll find the end of duality in the one term. And when you do that, you can really glean what the Course is saying. So first of all, this earthly life of ours, we tend to be living in a dream that God is having. Now, these are assumptions. These are not beliefs. The only thing that I believe in is love. Love. Only love is real. This I know to the core of my being, regardless of whatever else seems like a belief. Assumptions. We tend to run our life on assumptions, like the earth is round. For a while there was an assumption the earth was flat, and that's the way people live their lives. Well, we still do this. We assume things and then we act upon them. So let's use the assumption that the earth is round and that spirit is all-encompassing, that it lives in everything and everyone, and that God is not a noun. Well, there's a good assumption. The word God is not a noun. It's not a pronoun. It's a verb. Just like the word Spirit and Christ and Jesus, all of them. If you think of them as verbs, then they become a wave of energy, which is actually called kahuna in Hawaiian. It's a wave of qualified energy that we can identify with to reflect a truth to us. Breathe that in. Try and live your life for at least a day or a few hours without any nouns or any pronouns, and viewing everything as a verb. I am a verb. God, a verb. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So in that regard, apparently, in reality, in the reality that we all are living light, love, innocence in a body, which is beneath our human experience, inside our human experience, around our human experience, above our human experience. Because our human experience involves a lot of things that are not making that real, that we are love in a body, or even innocent. We can feel innocent, we go to a dance, ecstatic dance, on Sundays, and we can feel through the movement of the music and breathing, embodying, light for those moments we're dancing. We can feel those qualities. Yet, as you know, the tide comes in, the tide goes out. The wind blows, the wind stops. The sun shines, it doesn't. This is a world of duality. So we'll feel those things for a little while, but then the human gravity of experience comes back when someone triggers us, especially. That's when it really shows up. So, in reality, there's nothing to forgive. Because in reality, which means what is permanent, what is immortal, what is forever, what is infinite, is the fact that life after life after life, that even death as we think of it, is part of the dream. And so in reality, there's nothing to forgive because we're not doing anything. We're living in a dream. And we wake up from the dream and realize that it was nothing. Okay, so that's in reality. That's what lives forever. Now, the flip side of that is our experience, that we're always telling ourselves and feeling that, you know, we've done things wrong, we've said things wrong. The ego is really, really on top of this blame game, hugely. You know, it's so easy and automatic, involuntary to blame someone or something, whether it's politics or significant other, or the dog that pooped on the carpet or whatever. You know, it's so easy to blame, right? And so that's why we have the need for forgiveness. To forgive our projections, that's what we're seeing, does not belong, that there's something wrong. What we're seeing, someone should have said that differently. Someone should have treated me differently. I should have said that differently. I should have treated them differently. All those things, the ego is constantly, on us with a dialogue inside. And then, what do we feel? We feel guilt. We feel shame. Blame, it inflicts guilt. And it also causes guilt within ourselves. We're actually throwing our guilt on someone else when we blame them. Wow. Think on that for a minute. Now, how silly is that? And that's what's going on all the time. It's crazy, right? Yeah. So that's why there's the need for forgiveness. So when we adopt the pattern or the habit of forgiving all the time our projections in the world, of ourselves, of our bodies. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm this. I'm that. Whatever it is, Even the projections that could be positive. I'm a superstar. No one's better than me. I mean, this is why there's so many people, projecting on others, that they are, self-centered, self-righteous, selfish. The words go on and on, right? And those are all human qualities. And once again, there's nothing wrong with that because we're all living in a play. We're all living in this movie that was designed for us to experience separation so we could find our way home through forgiveness. Sounds simple, eh? Well, I've never done this before, but I want to read a little bit from lesson number 121, which is, forgiveness is the key to happiness. Now, let's breathe that in. And let's say it together. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Breathe it in. Let's say it again. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. I think we need to do it again. One more time. Close your eyes. Here we go. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. You feel the truth in that, don't you? Your heart knows the truth in that. Your spirit, your soul knows the truth in that. So let's just read these few sentences here. Forgiveness is acquired. It's not inherent in a mind which cannot sin. Now, the word sin means separation from God, or separation from unity. Sin is basically honoring the duality over the one spirit. Because the one spirit is something that is absolute. That is something that is in reality because it doesn't change at all. The one spirit is the one spirit. Love is love, regardless of whether we're feeling it or not. These things do not change, so those are our reality. And living those things, we feel like we're in heaven. Yeah. When we are living reality, we are living in the mind of God, which exists in heaven within and without. Nothing can trigger us because we're transparent, because we realize we were put here to love it all, regardless of how it feels. Okay. Forgiveness is acquired. It's not inherent in a mind which cannot sin. You see there? What that's saying is we are connected to the mind of God. We are living in the mind of God. The mind of God lives within us. There is no separation. We are God's son, which also means daughter. It just means, human. We are God's son, right? And so it is not inherent in a mind which cannot sin. As sin was an idea that you taught yourself, forgiveness must be learned by you as well. So we kind of chose the separation for our own identity, to come into a body and experience separation. Yeah, that's what I get from this. And so that's where forgiveness has to start to kick in. Yeah. So it has another part to that sentence. Okay. As sin was an idea you taught yourself, forgiveness must be learned by you as well, but from a teacher other than yourself, who represents the other self, capital S, in you. So the teacher then is our higher self, which is quiet, silent, makes no decisions, and makes no demands and no judgments on us. But it holds us. It holds our angelic self in place while our human experience is happening. So that's the teacher they're referring to. Through him, which it means it's of God, right? Through him, you learn how to forgive the self, small s, you think you made, and just let it disappear. I wish it was that easy. Thus, you return your mind as one to him, capital H, who is yourself, capital S, and who can never sin or separate. So that's why we have the need for forgiveness. Let's read on. Each unforgiving mind presents you with an opportunity to teach your own how to forgive itself. So this is done in reflection, because there are a lot of unforgiving minds in the world, and most minds are unforgiving, even mine. From time to time, I've been having a heck of a time forgiving this one deep trigger that happened a few months ago. And it was so deep because it was so painful, physically painful. Yeah, I was receiving a massage, and this was somebody I've worked with before. And she does the ears last. Now, the first time that she worked on me, it was so good. My body just really had some great healing take place. So I had her come back. But the first time when she did my ears at the very end, it really hurt. I mean, it hurt a lot. And I let her know while it was happening. So I assumed, she got the message. Well, the second time, which is about a week later, we come to this juncture again with my ears. And this time, it felt like she was ripping them off. It felt like she was just cutting them off with a sharp knife. The pain was through the roof. It felt trauma. I felt my subconscious. Now I own this projection. It felt like all the hatred that every woman has ever had for a man, that's subconscious, most of it, was projected onto me while my ears were being in excruciating pain from a feminine body. And that's the way my body read it. And I own that projection because I'm familiar with this pain. It's been projected in all sorts of ways throughout my life. And of course it goes both ways. The underlying hatred the ego has that it's trying to heal through relationship and learning how to love. So it wasn't until today where I finally, it took this lesson for me to realize her innocence, her absolute innocence. And, when I talked to her about it, what she said to me gave my ego really fuel to hang on to it, because she's a very, very skilled practitioner. And I trusted her. And my trust was annihilated with enormous pain. And it was really difficult for me to see her innocence in that, because when I addressed it to her, she said, oh, well, I never know how deep to go on someone's ears because everybody's different. Now, you see, my ego took that to hear from her that I'm not skilled enough to feel what you're feeling. Because the master masseuse, they can feel. Now, I can feel what someone's feeling when I'm working on them. Through the principle of unity, through the principle of oneness, I can feel what they're feeling, which means I know how deep to go with a stroke. I know when to back off. I know when to slow down. I know when to speed up, because I'm listening to their body. And my assumption is that she is that skilled. So then that excuse of not knowing how deep to go on me, it didn't fly. My ego really pounded that like, hey, no, she's not the master you thought she was. So it took a couple of months for me to come full circle with that and be able to forgive my projections onto her, because she's a lovely soul and a very skilled practitioner. But this is what happens when we get triggered very deeply. It's very, very difficult to overcome the guilt and the shame and the blame that's projected onto the other person. But this is the training. This is the bridge we're building. We, today, finally, I feel like getting in touch with her again. And until then, it was like the ego had blocked. You know how you block someone on social media? Just blocked all communication with this person who traumatized me. Which is full of separation, which is sin. So I feel so good that has now cleared, and I can once again feel so much love for this woman. And by, feeling both of our innocence, that this was meant to happen so that I could have this growing experience through forgiveness. And also turn a notch in that healing of the war between the masculine and the feminine that is lying underneath all conflict between peoples. Yeah. Yeah. So, wow, what a journey. Hmm. So each unforgiving mind represents you with an opportunity to teach your own how to forgive itself. Each one awaits release from hell through you and turns to you imploringly for heaven here and now. It has no hope, but you become its hope. And as its hope, you become your own. The unforgiving mind must learn through your forgiveness that it has been saved from hell. And as you teach salvation, you will learn. There's another trigger word, salvation, which means basically saving yourself from hell, which is your downward spiral, your depression, your negative thinking, your judgments that actually cause the person judging more pain than the one being judged. Excuse me. And this is why I'm on a mission from God. And, I take that phrase very lightly from the movie Blues Brothers. Do you know that they wrecked more than 40 cars in that movie, Blues Brothers? It was the first movie where they got in the Guinness Book for how many cars can be wrecked in one movie. And why? Because they were out to save the church. So everywhere they went and created havoc, they would say, we're on a mission from God. And when we choose to incarnate into this body, that's true for all of us. Once again, God being a verb, God being that the soul that we are, the light that we are, that carries so much exquisite love into this world. Yeah, we are on a mission to reconnect with that part of us that can see through this world, that can see through all of the chaos, that can see through all of the drama, the trauma, even in our own lives, with our own family, with our own relationships, can see through all of it and what's behind it and what's under it and what's over it and what's around it and what's inside of it is love. That's right. What's inside of it is permanent. And it is God as a verb, God's love, moving through us in waves and frequencies to bring us this exquisite heaven on earth. Let's have a meditation. All right, let's get comfortable now and close your eyes and start breathing in golden white light from above. Just feeling it shower down on you, just like a shower in your bathroom. Showering this liquid light, golden white, down into you, from your crown into your body. Now just imagine that this light is going to every cell of your body. Use your breath. Nice, deep breathing from above. Into the body. And now imagine as you're breathing this light that you're starting to glow, that the light is expanding beyond your physical body, into your aura. Breathe it into your aura and feel your God self inhabiting you in this moment. It's going into every cell of your physical body. It's going into all of your emotions, your emotional body. And it's cleaning and clearing your mental body as you focus in this present moment now. You are the light of God as frequency. And now repeat after me, if you would please. Now when we say the word I, I want you to imagine that you're speaking about your higher self, the self with a capital S. Here we go. Repeat after me. Take a breath. I love myself deeply. Breathe that in. Say it again. I love myself deeply. Remember, the I is your higher self, mind of God. I love myself deeply. Ha 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 ha. Breathe it in. I forgive myself for everything. Breathe it in with light. I forgive myself for everything. Feel your innocence as you breathe this in with light. I forgive myself for everything. And this erases the past. Erases all shame, all guilt, all karma. Let's do it again. I forgive myself for everything. And feel your past being erased. Thank you, God, for this blessing. Thank you, higher self, for guiding me. Now, even though there isn't anyone else, we're going to use this line for the ego's sake. I forgive everyone else. I forgive all others for everything. Breathe that in. Now bring someone to mind who you have a deep issue with, or even a shallow issue that triggers you. Bring them into your mind screen and say it again. I forgive all others for everything. Each time you inhale, inhale light. I forgive all others for everything. And I set myself free along with them. And I set them free along with me. A couple of more deep breaths. Now we're going to affirm. We're going to declare. Make a declaration with this next line. I trust and surrender to the light of my soul. Let's say that. And breathe it in. I trust and surrender to the light of my soul. To guide me, to heal me from all judgment and separation. I trust and surrender to the light of my soul. To guide me and heal me from all judgment and separation. To reveal to me my innocence and everyone else's. To guide me to let go of the past and know that it doesn't exist. To live in this present moment now as love in a body. To know that God's will for me is perfect happiness, always. And I accept God's will for me now. I'm going to send this prayer off with a Hawaiian blessing. Put your hands on your heart and feel the sacredness of this commitment you just made with your higher self. Ao makua mai ka po aiola, ho ikea mai keola. Higher self, ancestors, bring forth the water of life from heaven and manifest this prayer, this blessing. Amama ua noa, lele valiakuala. I blow it off into infinity for manifestation. Amama ua noa, lele valiakuala. And so it is. Let's all say it, so it is. Ke pao. Let's be quiet for a moment and just feel the blessing, the showering of blessings. Just showering like a downpour of blessings through all your bodies. Keep the breath flowing. in the silence, feel your wholeness, your innocence, the grace that has enveloped us all here, this moment. This is who we are. This is why we came. To feel our oneness with God, with the sonship, with each other. My whole body is smiling. Vibrating, tingling, light, sparklets of light everywhere. You are a star for everyone, a true bringer of the dawn, helping all to find their way, trusting spirit more and more every day. And our souls shine so bright to know God's love without fear. Wisdom grows through loving deeds, bringing peace into reality. And our souls shine so bright as we give ourselves away, teaching hope for humankind. One heart, one spirit, one mind. And our world is transformed to know God's love without fear. Wisdom grows through loving deeds, bringing peace into reality. A garden of love in our hearts, sharing joy and beauty far and wide. We are free when we feel the love we are, so very much alive. And our souls shine so bright as we give ourselves away, teaching hope for humankind. One heart, one spirit, one mind. And our souls shine so bright as we give ourselves away, teaching hope for humankind. One heart, one spirit, one mind. And our world is transformed to know God's love without fear. Wisdom grows through loving deeds, bringing peace into reality. Why are we here? Bringing peace into reality. Bringing peace into reality. Wow. God bless us all. Ah.
Thank you, Wayne. That was lovely.
Aw. You're so welcome, Rebecca. Thanks for showing up. Yeah. There is a question here I'm going to give to the Holy Spirit. Once again, there's another trigger term. Now, the Holy Spirit is simply an energy. It's not a noun or pronoun. The Holy Spirit is a frequency of wholeness. It represents the wholeness of spirit, the one spirit in everything. So when I say Holy Spirit, I'm speaking of the wholeness of spirit. Okay. The question is, how can I restore my energy after overgiving? Apparently, my adrenals are overworked. Okay. Great question. How can I restore my energy after overgiving? There is a lesson in A Course in Miracles that speaks to this quite beautifully. You ready for this? Giving is receiving. Receiving is giving. There is no separation. The question is rooted in separation. Me and them. What if there isn't a them? What if there's just a reflection of you? Which means we are always giving to ourselves. What a great principle to live by. It's the golden rule. We're always giving to ourselves. So, only give what you want to receive is the lesson there. Yeah, that's the first question. That's how you restore, by changing your mind. It's not in anything you're doing. See, the problem is we were programmed that giving is better than receiving. It's not true. Now, it's relatively true if you flip it into the unity of mind, into the God of mind, the mind of God. If you flip it and look at it from that lens, then you're always giving to yourself. So giving could be better than receiving if you apply the principle that you are receiving it. You see, from the ego point of view, giving is better than receiving cuts you off from receiving the gift that you're giving. And that's the ego's job, is to cut you off from your energy, to make sure you don't go out and run that marathon, to make sure you don't accomplish your dream, to make sure you don't go to the gym today, to make sure you don't apologize for something you said to your significant other. That's the ego's job, to stop you from being your whole self, to stop you from being love in the body, to stop you from forgiving. Yeah, ego will not let you forgive. It's not part of its programming. No way. No friggin' way. No way. No. That person, this person, the government, whatever, the war, no, they don't deserve forgiveness, right? No. That's not the way it works. Giving and receiving are the same. They are one and the same. They are the same volition. Now, from a shamanic point of view, which is very kahuna science, actually, I remember Abraham Kawai, he said to us once, you are the giver, you are the receiver, and you are that which is given in the same moment. And that is how I can feel what the other person is feeling when I'm giving a lomi lomi. I'm the giver, I'm the receiver, I'm that which is given. I'm the stroke. So I use that assumption to feel what they're feeling. So there it is. That is how you restore your energy from overgiving, is by changing your mindset and receive what you're giving in the moment you're giving it. Then there's no restoration required, because you're going to receive the blessing as them. Second question. Apparently, my adrenals are overworked. Excuse me. There's a couple of ways to approach this question. I'll go physically first, then mentally, and then spiritually. Physically, go to an herb shop and get a big bag of licorice root, chopped up in pieces. And take a big pot and take a huge handful or two, depending on how much water you use. Yeah, and I make a half a gallon at a time for my adrenals. And simmer it. Bring it to a boil, simmer it for about half an hour, 40 minutes. And all the licorice root will settle to the bottom. And you can scoop it out with a ladle into jars and put it in the fridge. Now, this is very strong medicine. Licorice root can heal the adrenal glands. It can rebuild them. It's rebuilding mine. When I notice that I have done too much caffeine and I'm required to have it for my adrenals to work, it's time to quit caffeine and flip to licorice root. Yeah. So that's the physical way of rebuilding your adrenals and your energy. Quit caffeine. It's killing you, or your adrenals. It's wiping them out. And this is so common in the world today. And, you know, people think, oh gosh, if I quit caffeine, I'll have headaches and all this, you know. Hey, what gets rid of the headache? Drink lots of water, take a cold shower, or get in the ocean, and it'll go away. Yeah. And then your energy will be in a lull for a day. But as soon as you start the strong licorice root tea, like I'll put it in a large mason jar in the fridge, and just like iced tea. And then when I drink it with some ice cubes, right, into a tall glass, and I'll sip it all day. I'll put it in one of those containers that holds the ice cubes, and I can sip it. That's for the physical. For the mental, now, that's the thing. See, your mental is your parent. The mental is going to have to reparent your body in regards to what you're doing to overtax your adrenal glands. And this all connects to the first question. Because if you believe that you are overgiving, then it's definitely going to tax your adrenals. Yeah. So you have to correct the first question first and receive everything you're giving so that it's a circle, a loop. Yeah? You give love, you receive love. You give hate, you receive hate. Whatever. You give judgment, you receive judgment. You give forgiveness. Ah, there's the one I want. I receive forgiveness. Yeah. And then you've got your licorice root tea to rebuild your adrenal glands. And then you've got your mind getting you away from the idea that you are not receiving, what you're giving, retrain your mind, right? And then you call in your spirit, and you have your vertical breaths coming in as light into your adrenal glands, and just loving them, giving them the biggest hug. Daily. Yeah, instead of meds, this is your med. Clear, gold and white light. Use, if you want, violet flames on your adrenal glands. Whatever works, right? Use your breath. Call in your spirit. So you've got 3 ways to heal those 2 questions. I hope that helps. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? I love questions. Any comments on the meditation, how that was for you? Trust love. Trust love. Trust the love that you are to guide your way home. I see us closing on the hour here, and I think that's the best closing I can give. Okay, here we go. Yes, you're welcome.
Thanks, Wayne.
Oh, bless your heart. Yeah. Sophia, God bless you.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Thank you for joining
Meditation.
us. Yeah. And you can share this. My editor, Lance, who's on board here, content creator, he's going to isolate the meditation and make it its own YouTube. And you guys can share it with your friends. It's very powerful medicine. It's working for me. It worked for you. And I appreciate your gratitude very much. Share. That's what it's all about. Share the love. Ripple this love into all your friends. Because we all need help in retraining our mind. That's a fact. I know I do. I need a lot of help. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this thought. You are love in a body. You are living in the mind of God. As the mind of God, being a verb, lives within you as well. And that is what is meant by heaven is within. Heaven, all heaven is a frequency of innocence. It's a frequency of innocence that there is no guilt, there is no shame, there is no ability, no capacity to judge. There's only this experience of life from a child's innocent mind, even as we are adults. So there's a gleeful approach to life that is absolutely creative to create more gleefulness, more happiness. That's what heaven is. Heaven is just happiness. And that's our lesson today. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. And what are we forgiving ourselves for? I'll remind you. As I remind myself, as I'm receiving this, as reminding you, I'm forgiving myself for buying in to the trauma, the drama of this dream, this nightmare that's happening on earth. I forgive myself for engaging in it in a way that takes me down, that makes me look at myself as less than perfect, as guilty, as sinful, as shameful. And so all of those things are buried in our subconscious. As soon as we feel any of them, immediately go vertical, incorporate your higher self, and forgive yourself. You can play this video again on this meditation we just did. I forgive myself for everything. I love myself deeply. I forgive everyone else for everything. I forgive all others for everything. You know, because there's nothing to forgive is why we need forgiveness. We need to forgive the fact that we think there's something to forgive, and then forgive that. So, forgiveness is the key to happiness. When you've thoroughly done your forgiveness homework, you will be so happy. You know, and that is the fifth principle in Kahuna science from the Kahili system. Yes. It's aloha. Love. To love is to be happy with. To love is to be happy with. So can you love even the ones that trigger you? Can you love the thoughts that come up and tell you, you know, you're less than perfect? You can love those thoughts and laugh at them from your perfection. All right, there's your homework. And I hope to see you next Sunday. Oh, by the way, next Sunday, we're going to be 2 hours later. Yeah, this turns out to be way too early for the radio show that I'm starting. In August, I'm starting a radio show on KKCR, Kauai Community Radio here in Kauai. It's live broadcast through streaming around the world. And my show is in Hawaii time, 10 to 12. It's 2 hours. So we'll have a second hour to answer questions in the radio show. So the radio show is going to be on the second and third Sunday of every month. So the podcast is going to be on the first and fourth, and if there's a fifth, Sunday of every month at the same time. That way, I can have my content creator on board, and it's all, even though it's two different channels, it's all at the same time, on the same day, so that the recordings can go up succinct onto YouTube, into Facebook, onto all my channels. Yeah. So the first Sunday will be the podcast at 10 a.m. Hawaii time. That's 1 p.m. West Coast time. And that would be 4 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. Let's see, 10. Yeah. And that's going to be the same. On the first Sunday and the fourth Sunday will be the podcast. And the second and third Sunday will be the radio show. And the show is called Let's Create Miracles. And it's going to be a very similar transmission. But we're going to incorporate more Ho'oponopono and more Kahuna science and more music. I'm going to be playing some exquisite music meditations with voiceovers on the radio show. I can't do that here, I don't think, because it's not a recording studio, but I'll work on it. So there you go. Next week, 2 hours later, mark it on your calendar. It'll be in your emails that come from our office. And when this replay comes around, yeah, please share it. And share the meditation. It's only going to be about 5 minutes. So, God bless you all, and thank you for showing up. It just fulfills my day to share my love with you, because it's coming right back. The ripples always come back. Ah, I love you all. Thank you. Ahui ho, malama pono.